Yes, you're on the right track. Kindly do the necessary calculation. I'm waiting for everyone to complete this, then I will continue. I hope you have worked on this simple expression out over there and you have got the answer using pen and paper. Good. With that into consideration now, can you figure it out what should be the value written by the first expression and the second expression? Now that you know how to calculate the expressions. So I hope you got these answers for the both the predict the output. So it will be in the second case 7% star 2. That means 7 raised to 2. So 7 raised to 2 will be evaluated first. So it gives me the answer as 49. 49 divided by 9 is an integer division out over there. So it should give me the quotient as 5. Okay, 5 nines are 45. 5 percentage 3 should give me 2. Okay, so the first expression is 2. And then we have minus 25 greater than 1 into 8 integer division 5 out over there. So it should give me 8 divided by 5, which should give me 1. Is minus 25 greater than 1? No. So it should give me something called as a false out over there. Hence your answer should be false. Hence your answer should be false. Okay, good. So are you supposed to by heart this? No. Only thing you should remember is parenthesis is evaluated first, then the exponential, then the multiplication, division and remainder left to right, and then finally we have the addition and subtraction, and then finally we have add, not and or. Okay. Normally we'll be using this expression in the coding part of it. In the coding part of it. But in case the question comes, what should be the answer of this particular expression? You should be in a position to figure it out. You should be in a position to figure it out. Okay. So let's switch to our coding part. Okay. Let's do some more coding examples. So you have been asked a very simple question. What you're supposed to do? You're supposed to accept the data in feet and convert it into meter and convert it into meter and display the result and display the result. Kindly note that 1 feet is equal to how many meter? Any idea? 1 feet equal to 0.305 meter. With this information given to you, you're supposed to write a code which will accept the data in feet and convert it into meter and display it. Shouldn't take more than 2 minutes. Kindly do it fast. I will look at the chat window after 2 minutes. So let me now 2 minutes over. So let me check here some of the answers. What you're supposed to do, you're supposed to accept the distance in feet. M is equal to 0.03 into A, print meters, comma A. Okay, good. Atinder int input y is equal to x and displayed. See, Atinder, the problem is you whenever you provide a solution, it should be self-explanatory. Now this int doesn't have any message. Enter the distance in feet. Okay, kindly change it. Answer, it is not answer. Value of the distance in meter is. So such helpful messages will help you. So those students who are basically just using int input, kindly note that whenever you will be developing a project, someone else will be going through it. So it should be self-explanatory. That means your program should be having the correct sequence and a input. In the input, the message what you want to do. I want to accept the data in feet. After that, do the necessary calculation and display the data in meters. So kindly keep a track of it. Even though your solutions are perfectly fine and they're running well, kindly see that the person who is going through your code should be in a position to relate to it and understand it. Yes, most of you have got it perfectly fine. That's good. Let's take one more example that illustrates this concept, and then we'll continue with our if else command. This document will be uploaded. Don't worry about it. Just concentrate it on the coding part. Write a program that reads radius and length of cylinder. Okay, and compute area and volume. You might need the necessary formula for it, so I am providing it. Area is equal to radius into p, value of pi. Okay, volume will be equal to area into length. Okay, so this formula is given to you. Have been told to accept the radius and length of the cylinder, and you should calculate the area and volume. Okay, kindly accept the radius and length as integer. Kindly accept radius and length as integer. You can take the value of pi as 3.14. You can take the value of pi as 3.14. Okay, 3 minutes for this. Type out the code. You have to do the simple calculation, but your program should be meaningful with appropriate message. Okay, let me have a look at it. Wonderful. Okay. How many solutions I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Okay. What I did was I accepted the radius of the cylinder, I accepted the length of the cylinder, then I calculated the area, then I calculated the volume, and then I displayed the data. So how you should be, in case you want to display data with 2 decimal places, what you should do, let's have a look at it. So point number 1, so when I calculated the area, what was the formula? It was radius into pi. So what I did, you could say radius into radius, or I could say radius raised to 2. So I use an exponential out over there. Okay. Then I have a pi. So where I can get the value of pi, either you can type 3.14 or I can use something called as import math. So what is a math out over there? Math is a package. In this particular package, we have something called as a constant value, that is a pi. So if you want to refer to that particular value, you should be saying import math. Okay, so say import math, then you'll be in a position to use this pi along with the math by saying math.pi. Then the volume will be area into length. Okay, so that is calculated. Then you wanted to display the area is and the volume is. You want to display the area. So you say this particular format, start with the double quote. Okay, start with the double quote, have a single brace. Okay. Start with the double quotes, have a single brace, then say colon, point 2f. Look at the syntax. Okay. So double quotes, opening brace, colon. Now you want to display with how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. So I will type 0.2. If in case you want to display it with 5 decimal places, you will type 0.5f. Why f? Because it's a float value. After doing the necessary calculation, it will be the float value. And then you say apply this particular format to which particular variable area. Similarly, apply this format to which particular variable volume. So let's just try to run this. First is the radius, next is the cylinder, 6, and I get the area and the volume with how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. Okay. So this particular code, I'll paste it in the chat window so that you can have a look at it. Okay. So what we learned in this example, we learned how to import a package. Point number 1. Point number 2, from that package, how to use the value of pi. Then I taught you how to display area and volume with a particular format, and that format is 0.2f with 2 decimal places. Okay, with 2 decimal places. Okay. Let's continue. As if and else. Okay, if else if and else. So let's see some example which can illustrate the concept of this particular concept. How we could use the if along with the else command. Now the first question being asked is for even or odd. What it is saying is you should accept a number from the user and check whether that number entered is an even number or the odd number out of there. So what I will do, I will accept a number from the user by saying int input, enter an integer. Okay. Then what I will do, I will use a if clause. If. Now pay attention over this very carefully. After if, you don't have to type any bracket. Simply type an expression. How we can check whether number is even or odd? Take a number divided by 2. If the remainder is 0, that means it is a even number. That means it is a even number. Colon. That's a syntax. Okay. So we start with f, then the expression, end it with 0. If the remainder is 0, that means it is even. Put a colon, press enter. Okay. It will take a cursor not right to the beginning, but it will take you to the right. Now type print. What we wanted? We wanted to display n is even. So I will say n is even. Okay. Now we'll press enter. Now when you press enter, it will be below print. But I don't want now. My message is displayed. What I want to take care now, I want to take care of the odd number. So I will use a backspace. I will use a backspace. I will come in the level of if. I will come in the level of if. Then I will type else. Else what I will type? If n comma is odd. I will type this is odd. Okay. Now let's run it. I will enter the value as 12. 12 is even? Yes. Let me enter the, sorry. Let me enter the integer, 13. 13 is odd. 12 is even. Okay. Quickly try this out. Quickly. You have to accept a number and integer value and check whether it is even or odd. Kindly check the syntax. See, there is a colon over here which indicates it is for the if condition. Then there is a colon over here for the else. Else should be exactly below this. Okay, do not type this over here. If you do something like this, then see what happens. You get a expected indented block. So if you make a mistake, don't worry, just press a tab. Okay, run it. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you. If it is not working, kindly press the tab correctly, make it work. Everyone should try this out because the rest of the programs will be based on this. Yes, it is only for integers, not for the float, because percentage will work only for the float. In the student whose code is not working, kindly paste it so that I can have a look at it and tell you where is the mistake you have made. Check out the tab position. I think the colon is not right. You haven't closed this bracket. Do not use a space, use a tab. It will become easy for you to maintain. Otherwise, if you use two spaces everywhere, then you will have to use two spaces for the else also. So use a tab, it becomes very easy to maintain. Is the code working for everyone? Because the remaining codes will be based on that. Your coding will be based on this. If else, you will be using this in the loops and everywhere. So all the students, is the code working so that I can continue? Oh, great, wonderful. Now what you're supposed to do? Next program, you will do it on your own. Except two integer and display larger of the two. Except two integers and display the larger of the two. Okay, let me have a look at the code. A is equal to input, B is, if A is greater than B, print A is greater, else B is greater. Okay. Raghav, instead of typing A is greater, it should be A outside. Then only you will get. For example, if you enter 10 and 8, it should be 10 is greater, 8 is greater. Can we use max x comma y? Yes, you could use this particular predefined function. A should be outside. Otherwise, it will simply display A is greater than B. A should be outside. Or you could simply say A is larger. See, I will take your program and tell you the problem associated with it. Okay, I have taken student Ashita's program and I am running it. Let's enter the first number as 10, second number as 8. It says A is greater than B. Now, what is A and what is B? What you should be doing is, you should be typing A is greater than, let's run it. 11 is greater than 10. Okay. Now, what will happen if I enter the two numbers as 10 and 10? What will happen if I enter both the number as 10 and 10? Is A greater than B? No. So it is displaying in the else part, B is greater than A. That is 10 is greater than A. Okay. So what we should be doing? We should be doing something like this. If B greater than A, else print both are same. Okay. So let's run this and I enter first number as 10, second number as 10. It should say both are same. If I say 10 and 11, it says 11 is greater than 10. Okay. So you will have to modify the code. In case you enter both the numbers as same, you won't get the correct output. Hence, we need to use if, then the elif. Elif means if this is not satisfied, kindly check this condition. And then finally go in the else part. So if A greater than B, else B greater than A, else both are same. Make the changes in your program. Kindly go through this for a minute. Okay, so I hope you have understood this, right? Now try to write a code which will display larger of the three numbers. All three are assumed to be unique. Okay, write a code to display larger of the three numbers. All the three numbers are unique. They are not same. Amrit, kindly work on it. If it doesn't, kindly work on it for 2 or 3 days. In case you don't get it, then only I will have a look at it. Check the forums, check what mistakes you are making. Okay, quickly do it. Make the modification in the same program. Three numbers are there. All the three are unique. You're supposed to find the larger of the three numbers. You're supposed to accept three numbers and display the larger of the three numbers. Quickly do it. Larger of the three numbers. Waiting for you. Okay, I hope you must have completed this. Larger of the three numbers. If A greater than B, A greater than C, yes, we could use this. Else if B greater than A greater than C, else C is greater. Okay, two solution. A is equal to B, else max is the largest number. Is the largest. Yes, this is interesting. Use a predefined function. Yes. Only two solutions I have got. If A greater than B and A greater than C. Yes. Yes. Kindly remember that if A greater than B and A greater than C can also be written as if A greater than B greater than C. Okay. I could use the shortcut. If A greater than B and A greater than C can also be written as if A greater than B greater than C. I could use this. Okay. But the first one is much more readable in the sense that it is clearly telling you this is greater than B, this is greater than C. But I could still use this kind of a syntax. If A greater than B and greater than C. Remember this.
सर वहां पे फिर जो आपने सेकंड वाला बताया उसमें बी भी ग्रेटर देन सी होना जरूरी नहीं हो जाएगा?
No, I meant to say you will have to put it for everything. In each and every if. This is here. You will have to use. Clear?
सर फिर यहाँ पे ये कंडीशन भी ट्रू नहीं होनी चाहिए कि बी भी ग्रेटर देन सी होना जरूरी है अगर हमने ऐसे लिखा?
This is just a if. Else if also you'll have to make the changes. Else also you'll have to make the changes.
Okay, sir.
What I meant was something like this. Let me take to my solution out with it. Okay. Now what I will do, instead of and, I will simply remove this and say A greater than equal to B greater than equal to C. In this case, B greater than equal to A greater than equal to C, right? Can I do something like this? B greater than equal to B greater than equal to C, else if B greater than equal to A greater than equal to C, else print C. I hope it is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Please do keep on asking the doubts. Okay. The next one. The next one says assign grade to the student. Okay. Assume that there is a test on Python. The test is of the 100 marks. It says that if you get marks between 90 and 100, then directly you will get a grade A. If it is between 70 and 89, you will get a grade B and so on. Okay. You're supposed to accept the marks in integer and display the grade. So it shouldn't take more than 3 to 4 minutes, 3 minutes max. The range is given to you and the grade is given to you. Okay, so what you will have to use? You will have to use something like this. If marks greater than equal to 90, and you will have to use a logical operator called as and, marks less than equal to 100. If marks greater than equal to 90 and marks less than equal to 100, then display grade A. Else if so and so. So kindly write a program. It is 41 by 44. It should be ready. Yeah, it's 44. Now let me have a look at the code. Let me start right from the beginning. Akshit. Wonderful. Good. Let's check. Okay, good. Let's check Akash. Wonderful. Till now only three solution. Come on, increase your speed. Only three solutions. I'll wait for a minute. Otherwise, I'll continue with the next example. Once you're comfortable with loops and everything, you could start practicing on the code chef. Okay. Now in the code chef, since you know if else, I'll be telling you one program to do. This activity should take not more than 6 to 7 minutes. Okay. So I will take you to this particular code called as ATM. And let's try to understand this particular question. Okay. These are the real life questions. So are you with me? Let's start this activity. Everyone pay attention. Look at the question statement. Pooja would like to withdraw X dollars from the ATM. The cash machine will only accept the transaction of X if it is a multiple of 5. So the first condition they are saying is the transaction will be successful only if it is multiple of 5. And Pooja's account balance has enough cash to perform the withdrawal transaction. That means there should be enough balance in the bank. Okay. For each successful withdrawal, a bank charges 0.50 US dollar. Okay. That means for every transaction, it will apply successful transaction $0.5. Calculate Pooja's account balance after the successful attempted transaction. So this question is given to you. So we as a developer have to understand what is this question. It says that we would like to withdraw how many dollars from the ATM? Some X dollars. That particular X dollar which you are going to withdraw should be the multiple of 5. See, there is a condition. Then only you can perform the transaction. Then only you can withdraw the amount. Otherwise, you cannot withdraw the amount. In case it is a multiple of 5, then what it says, you can withdraw the amount provided there is enough balance in the bank. Okay, so assume that there is enough balance in the bank. Then what will happen? If you are withdrawing $100, then it will charge $0.50. That means total how much should be deducted? 100 plus 0.5 should be deducted from that particular account. Now these are the various test cases according to which you should run your program. Let's say 30 and 120.00. So what it is saying is 30 is an integer, 120.00 is a float, or you can take both of them as a float. You want to withdraw how many dollars? $30. Is it a multiple of 5? Yes, it's a multiple of 5. First condition is satisfied. Is there enough balance in the bank? Yes, there is enough balance. Balance is $120. So can you withdraw the amount? Yes, you can withdraw the amount. So if you subtract 30 from 120, how much you get? You get 90. But then bank charges $0.5. So what is the remaining amount in the bank? It is 89.50. Perfect. Let's take into consideration the second example, 42 and 120.00. Okay. Is 42 multiple of 5? It's not a multiple of 5. So you cannot withdraw the money. Your balance should be displayed as it is. That is 120.00. This is the second test case. That means your program should be in a position to satisfy the second test case. Third test case, I want to withdraw 300, but my balance is 120. Can you withdraw the amount? You cannot withdraw the amount because there is no sufficient balance in the bank. So what should be the output? It should be 120.00. Clear? Now, is the question statement clear to you? Is the question statement clear to you, everyone? You could type a yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Great. So what I'm going to do is, I want you to solve this particular example. I'll copy the test cases and paste it in the chat window. What is this program? It is simple if else command, right? If it is simple if else command, but that's how real life programs are. I will give a solution after 5 minutes, but for 5 minutes I want you to try it out. This this is unsuccessful. That means this transaction shouldn't take place because it is 42. And the third one is have to be seen. Look at the input 30 and 120.0. In this case, 42 and 120, 300 and 120. You have to accept the data from the user. It could be anything, it could be changing also. Next time it could be 42 and 150. It shouldn't be constant. You can keep it anything. Your input will be two values, your output will be one value. And the output should be displayed with how many decimal places? Two decimal places. See the output, two decimal places, two decimal places, two decimal places. If you have any queries, type it in the chat box. It is 52 by 57, it should be ready. Okay. So pay attention over here. So what I do, I accept the withdraw amount and the balance. Let's check out the condition. What it says. What is the first value? The amount which you want to withdraw. What is the second value? The second value is something you want to mention the initial balance. You want to mention the initial balance in the bank. Okay, so withdraw is this one, balance is this one. Done. First part, accepting the data. Then what is the condition? We have to check whether the first number is a multiple of 5. And secondly, if there is a sufficient balance, that means this minus this should be greater than 0. So what I did was, I checked the condition. If withdraw percentage 5 equal to 0, that means if my withdraw amount is a multiple of 5, okay, let's assume I am entering the withdraw amount as 50. So then I say withdraw plus 0.5. Why 0.5? Because 0.5 is nothing but the bank is going to charge me for withdrawing the money. So that means my amount withdrawn will be 50.5. If this particular amount is less than the balance, what it means, there is a sufficient balance. So what I should do, I should say balance is equal to balance minus withdraw plus 0.5. Since you don't know this, I will type balance equal to balance minus withdraw plus 0.5. And let me make this very clear by putting it in the. Okay. So if my initial balance is 100, so this will be 100 minus this will be 50 and this will be 0.5 and this will be 0.5. Okay. Let me run this with the first test case. What is the first test case? 30 and 120.0. So let me enter 30, 120.0. 30. It displays 89.50. Okay, this is good. Now let's take the second case, that is 42 and 120. Let's run it again. 42 is the amount I want to withdraw, and second is 120 is the balance. No, you cannot withdraw the amount because it displays the same amount, 2 decimal places. So what I did is a withdraw amount 42 percentage of 5. That means, is it divisible by 5? No, it is not divisible by 5. So display the original balance. Display the original balance. Okay. Let's take the third case. What is the third case? Your withdraw amount is greater than the balance. Let's run it. Let's take 300 is the amount to be withdrawn and 120.0 is the balance. Also, you cannot withdraw. It will simply display the original balance. All the three cases handled. In this case, what I did, I used something called as a nested if. That means if this is true, come here. Then do this. That means if this and this both are satisfied, you should do it. That means I could combine this using a AND condition. I could combine this using a AND condition. Clear? Secondly, I want to display the balance with how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. So I say percentage colon 0.2f, not percentage, double quotes, braces colon 0.2f. Okay. So everyone, are you comfortable with what has been taught today? We simply learnt about the arithmetic operators, logical operators, and if-else condition, and we applied it on the various set of the examples out over there. Okay. So as soon as this recording is available, I'll be uploading the recording as well as the document. This particular set of the examples, I'll be uploading it so that you can go through it. Okay. Secondly, your next session will start at 11:15. So I'll be winding up my session now. Okay. Tomorrow class timings will be the same, 10:30 to 12 o'clock. 10:30 to 12 o'clock. Okay. So I'll be winding my session now. You can leave the class now.